The year was 498 BCE, and the air in Ionia was thick with tension. The Greek cities along the coast of Asia Minor, long under the oppressive thumb of the Persian Empire, had risen in revolt. The Ionian Revolt, as it would come to be known, was a desperate bid for freedom, a spark that would ignite a fire across the Aegean world. At the heart of this rebellion was the city of Sardis, the glittering capital of the Persian satrapy of Lydia. It was here that the fate of the revolt would be decided, in a dramatic and fiery confrontation that would echo through history. The story begins in the bustling streets of Miletus, the leading city of Ionia. Aristagoras, the ambitious tyrant of Miletus, had grown weary of Persian domination. He had tried and failed to curry favor with the Persian king, Darius the Great, by supporting a disastrous expedition to conquer the island of Naxos. Now, with his position precarious and his people restless, Aristagoras made a fateful decision. He would cast off the Persian yoke and lead the Ionian cities to freedom. Aristagoras traveled to Sparta and Athens, seeking allies for his cause. The Spartans, ever cautious, refused to commit their forces. But the Athenians, swayed by promises of glory and wealth, agreed to send help. 20 Athenian ships, along with 5 from the city of Eretria, set sail for Ionia, their decks filled with hoplites eager for battle. The combined Greek forces gathered at Ephesus, where they were joined by troops from the Ionian cities. Their target was Sardis, the administrative heart of Persian power in the region. The city was wealthy and well fortified, but its defenses were not impregnable. The Greeks hoped that by striking at Sardis, they could deal a decisive blow to Persian authority and inspire other subject peoples to rise up. The march to Sardis was swift and determined. The Greeks moved under the cover of darkness, their footsteps muffled by the dense forests that lined the road. As they approached the city, they could see the glow of its temples and palaces in the distance, a testament to its wealth and grandeur. But the Greeks were not there to admire the architecture. They were there to burn it to the ground. The attack began at dawn. The Greeks stormed the lower city, catching the Persian garrison off guard. The narrow streets echoed with the clash of swords and the cries of the wounded. The Persian soldiers, though outnumbered, fought fiercely to defend their positions. But the Greeks, driven by a thirst for freedom and revenge, pressed the attack with relentless determination. As the fighting raged, a fire broke out in the city. Some say it was started by the Greeks, who sought to sow chaos and destruction. Others claim it was an accident, sparked by a stray torch or a cooking fire. Whatever the cause, the flames spread quickly, consuming the wooden buildings and thatched roofs of the lower city. The acrid smell of smoke filled the air, and the sky turned dark with ash. The fire soon reached the Temple of Cybele, the most sacred site in Sardis. The temple, a magnificent structure of marble and gold, was reduced to rubble in a matter of hours. The destruction of the temple was a devastating blow to the Persians, who saw it as a symbol of their divine right to rule. For the Greeks, it was a moment of triumph, a sign that the gods favored their cause. But the triumph was short-lived. The Persian garrison, though driven from the lower city, still held the citadel, a formidable fortress perched on a steep hill overlooking Sardis. The Greeks, exhausted from the fighting and wary of a counterattack, decided not to press their advantage. Instead, they looted the city and set it ablaze, ensuring that nothing of value would fall back into Persian hands. As the Greeks retreated, they were pursued by a Persian relief force under the command of Artaphernes, the satrap of Lydia. The Persians, enraged by the destruction of Sardis, were determined to exact revenge. They caught up with the Greeks near Ephesus, where a fierce battle ensued. The Greeks, outnumbered and outmaneuvered, were forced to retreat to their ships. Many were killed or captured, and the survivors returned to their cities with heavy hearts. The Siege of Sardis was a turning point in the Ionian Revolt. For the Greeks, it was a moment of both triumph and tragedy. They had struck a blow against the Persian Empire, but at a great cost. The destruction of Sardis enraged Darius the Great, who vowed to punish the Athenians for their role in the rebellion. According to legend, he ordered a servant to remind him daily of the Athenians, saying, "Master, remember the Athenians." For the Persians, the siege was a wake-up call. They realized that the Ionian cities could not be ruled by force alone. In the years that followed, they would adopt a more conciliatory approach, offering incentives to loyal subjects and crushing dissent with brutal efficiency. The revolt would ultimately be crushed at the Battle of Lade in 494 BCE, but the seeds of rebellion had been sown. The Siege of Sardis is a story of courage and defiance, of a people willing to risk everything for the chance to be free. It is also a story of hubris and destruction, of the unintended consequences of war. The fire that consumed Sardis was a symbol of the Greeks' determination to resist tyranny, but it also foreshadowed the devastation that would come in the years ahead. As the flames died down and the smoke cleared, the people of Sardis were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered city. The Greeks, though victorious in the short term, would soon face the full might of the Persian Empire. The Greco-Persian Wars were just beginning, and the Siege of Sardis was but the first chapter in a long and bloody struggle for dominance. In the end, the story of Sardis is a reminder of the power of rebellion and the cost of freedom. It is a tale that resonates across the centuries, a testament to the enduring spirit of those who dare to stand up against oppression. And though the city itself may have fallen, its legacy lives on, a beacon of hope for all who fight for justice and liberty.